This is a Tracking the Tropics update with the certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
All right, folks, what's good? I am meteorologist Lewis Turner, and we are watching the tropics. Going to kind of dive into as many things as we can here in this segment and answer your questions, of course, if you have any, whatever platform you may be streaming this on, FCN Plus or Facebook, wherever it is. Pop them in, and as we get them, I'll try to answer directly. But I think by the time we get through this graphic series that I'm about to show, the possible answers will have been given. I mean, there's so many things, questions you're going to have that just can't be answered. This is very, very early. And so let's get right in. So we're looking at that area of red. This is the typical National Hurricane Center map, the NHC map. And as we look down towards Jamaica, you see the X there. That's just a disjointed, disorganized, but getting more organized group of showers and thunderstorms, a tropical wave that is going to drift towards Central America, towards Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, and currently just be blocked in the Caribbean. We've got pretty strong high pressure over us here in Northeast Florida right now that's kind of wedged itself in between the ocean and the Appalachian Mountains, which is bringing us what we've been experiencing here locally the last few days, last few weeks, really, these strong east and northeast winds. That high pressure keeping the system blocked down for a couple of days in the Caribbean. Might give it some time to strengthen itself over those few days as well. So that's why we're confident, and we'll talk about the things we are confident in right now. The next 48 hours, we're going to get ourselves, at least, and maybe even before that, we're going to get ourselves a tropical depression. Now, even within that time frame, maybe beyond just 48 hours, we know that Hurricane Center is high confidence that we are going to get ourselves Sara as well. That would be the next named system, whether tropical storm or it strengthens into a hurricane. Well, that's yet to be seen, though computer modeling would suggest some confidence that it would become a hurricane somewhere down the line. Now, down the line is going to be the operative words. I want to show you a couple of different models. Now, we're looking at concentric circles here, right? So this is the European model, just two models, and there are dozens, and different runs, different looks. There are hurricane-centric models. These are the longer range models, because we have to look at longer range right now, because we're dealing with something that, I mean, you're looking at Wednesday there on the screen right now. That would be a week from now. That we're talking about. So that's when we get into that longer range. Longer range also in these computer models is when we start to lose confidence, becoming that sort of Plinko game where so many different outcomes are possible. We're going to have land interaction, whether it's Yucatan Peninsula or whether it's Cuba, that we're going to have to deal with. The likelihood of it shooting straight through the straits there between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba and then getting into the Gulf of Mexico seems unlikely considering the drift that it's going to do in the Caribbean. But what we're seeing here, these concentric circles, this bullseye looking things, the green would be the computer model run, the European computer model run. The purple or blue is your GFS longer range model run. And the tighter the circles are together, those are your isobars, your lines of equal pressure. The tighter the pressure gradient, meaning the stronger the winds, the stronger the storm. And what I am seeing here is a confidence that there is a general strength and timing confidence that this system will emerge into the Gulf of Mexico, looking like maybe Tuesday into Wednesday getting into this position. So we're still a week away from getting this system into the Gulf of Mexico, where still so much has to happen. Now here's where things diverge, and divergence is normal when we're getting out beyond a week, right? So let's watch how different these two resolutions are. And why, as we get to 7 and 10 days out, this is still Wednesday, we're talking Wednesday into Thursday, you got some speed differences. So the European model would have this moving south of I-4 and exiting the east coast of Florida by Wednesday afternoon. The GFS model wants to take this current resolution to the south through the Straits of Florida, the Florida Keys, between even the Keys and Cuba, and then exiting out towards the Bahamas as we get to Thursday. This would be a week from tomorrow. Now, certainly, some trends that we have noticed with computer modeling out and this far out. Some we noticed with Helene, some we noticed with Milton as well. About a day slower. So even if we were to slow this down by a day, or we'll say 2 days even, to be super conservative, we're talking about Friday into Saturday. So a lot of questions have come out, well, is there going to be a hurricane on Thanksgiving? Well, this one, certainly not. Now, listen, we go way out and beyond deep. It's still hurricane season. Certainly, climatology would suggest no, but because the latest landfalling hurricane we've ever had in Florida would be November 21, November 22, back in 1985, that happened, and that would be similar to what we're seeing here with this system as well, about that same time frame. So I want to talk about why that's so different resolution. So this is the GFS model, and this is painting on not only the isobars, but it's also putting on your rain as well, the heavier rainfall, so where you'd see the impacts. The reason that computer model is really zeroing in on this hard right turn right now, at least for these latest runs, is because of an extremely strong and a series of cold fronts. So, and that's normal for November. So it's taking climatology into consideration here. So it's the fact that we're in November, the fact that here in Northeast Florida we've had the warmest November so far on record. We are certainly due, climatologically speaking, for a strong cold front to come through. And the GFS is picking up on that. It's picking up on what would be a very strong, very robust cold front, even dipping in some cold temperatures near borderline freeze temperatures into portions of South Georgia, north of Northeast Florida, but still in Georgia could get some really cold temperatures as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And that's why this front seems to really push this system a little bit further south. If those ingredients hold true, this resolution seems likely. Still a lot to be determined. Now with the European model, remember this is the one I showed you on that earlier map that had a more northern route, maybe adjacent to parallel to I-4 and exiting a little bit faster. The fronts aren't as strong, but there are still fronts that are forecast to come through. So that will still steer it through. In this scenario, Jacksonville and Northeast Florida would deal with some winds and some gusty winds and some rain, certainly. The earlier scenario with the GFS would be very minimal impacts. Now, what we can tell you, the main points that we're going to drive home here. Tropical system development, likely. Would be Sara. We know that much. Many possible outcomes, and I have to emphasize this. We just looked at a couple of computer model runs, and these are the ones that your go-tos for long range, because we're still in that 7 to 10 day from impact time frame, right? So we got to look at the longer range models, and once you get out to 7 to 10 days, you start kind of getting divergent, getting wider possible resolution. So there's still many outcomes with this, and that's why we're going to have updates. And that's another guarantee of all this. Updates will be coming, and we will have to change some things. And the west coast of Florida, entirety of the west coast of Florida, from maybe the Big Bend all the way down to the Florida Keys, something that should be monitored. Here in the first coast, we'll monitor as well for any secondary impacts, as it would be something that at worst would be crossing over the west coast of Florida. So those are your main points, what we know right now. And this is your satellite look at this system. These streams are important to me and hopefully important to you as well, because a lot of folks are waking up first thing in the morning or seeing folks on social media quickly posting still shots of worst case scenarios. And while it gets a lot of clicks, it also raises a lot of questions. I've had a series of questions in my inbox already about the potential, as I mentioned earlier. Oh my gosh, is this going to mean a wet Thanksgiving? Certainly does not, because what we have seen, we know Thanksgiving, we're still talking 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we're talking an event that would be a week, maybe 9 days out from tomorrow. So by that point, we're looking much better. So here are a couple of potential scenarios as we look at what is now called Tropical Wave Invest 99L. We know the hurricane hunters are going to be flying into this afternoon, and that only means better information coming in, right? We're going to get the hurricane hunters dropping their drop zones into this, getting as much data as they can, and then we're going to get more reliable information. As it gets more organized and stronger, we actually get more reliable information as well when we get a true center. So I want to zoom in on kind of the motion of how this is all going to work. First step is we're going to get a tropical depression, and as it becomes a depression and ultimately a tropical storm in Sara, it's going to move towards the Yucatan Peninsula and Central America. So Bay of Campeche going to kind of be on the edges of this as it makes that first drift. And drift is going to be an operative word because it's going to be slow, almost painfully slow as it moves there through the western portion of the Caribbean, almost doing a loop even before it finally makes that trip north. Your second step is in question that we're going to watch and hopefully get answered. What's the interaction going to be like with land, whether it's on the western side with Yucatan Peninsula or on the eastern side even potentially with Cuba? Right now, computer modeling suggesting more likely that it would be on the western edge of this. Are the fronts coming across the United States weaker? If so, then this more northern resolution with that arrow kind of pointing more towards the Tampa Big Bend area, though I think that's the northern edges of possibility at this point with this information. Or a secondary sort of resolution would be what the GFS model has been showing, a strong, robust cold front, which climatologically speaking would make sense if we're taking climate data into account here, which you have to, and which what computer models do as well, which I think is what the GFS is doing. Taking the fact that these types of storms this strong in November is unlikely historically speaking, but certainly we've had some history-making events. So we'll watch carefully. This is another potential Key West or even further south. So a lot to monitor with this. We will, of course, watch very carefully what would ultimately become Sara in the now next 48-hour period. We'll update every single time it does. So if you have those questions, bring them to us. We will be on First Coast News at throughout the day, noon, 5, 6, and then, of course, right here on First Coast News Plus and the Facebook page to answer any and all questions as this develops. But a lot to watch and a lot of different possibilities. I think the big take-home is, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. So far, things looking like a decent, maybe even cold Thanksgiving week. So yeah, got cheers from the back. Guys, any feedback, any questions that you're seeing, anything I need to address, or did we?
Some comments on the Facebook Live if you want to just skim through.
Yeah, you're going to have to, I'm an old man, Andy. This Andy in the back telling me I need to get on the Facebook Live. So I'm on the Facebook.
We have
First Coast News Live. Oh,
Kathy
there it is.
saying Florida's had enough already.
Florida's had enough already. Kathy, I see, yes. Thank you, guys. Karen, we'd certainly use the rain in your little corner of Jacksonville. Rain's a good thing. Rain is a good thing. We need a front to come through. In fact, just in a more micro sense, as we're talking forecasting, we got a front coming tomorrow that could bring us some showers needed, but also going to bring us some cooler temperatures for the weekend. Pam, you're going to the Keys for Thanksgiving. Like I just said, you're going to be great. The Keys for Thanksgiving. This will, if the faster models and the GFS, which showed that Keys kind of move, this thing will have moved and been on out of there by, Thursday before Thanksgiving. Maybe, like I said, even if we're backing things up a day or two, but like we've seen in some trends, slow it down a day or two. We're talking Friday, Saturday before Thanksgiving. So by the time you're there, and the Keys are built for this. That's the Conch Republic. That's that's rock, cinder block, and brick, and you'll be good. I think you're going to go down to the Keys for Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving plans so far right now, as of this broadcast and this live stream, good to go. My friends in the back, for Andy, for Malcolm, on the ones and on the twos, I'm Lewis Turner. You have a good rest of your day. We'll be back.